Paul Heyman reportedly returning to WWE with a plan after backstage talks of getting a new client. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Lena. Have a nice day. For WWE Family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Paul Heyman is the missing piece of the puzzle to complete the OG bloodline. An update on the Wiseman's return has come to the fore, and it looks like the 59-year-old WWE Hall of Famer is coming back with a plan. The former special counsel was put on the shelf by the new bloodline after he refused to acknowledge Solo Sikoa as his tribal chief on the June 28 episode of SmackDown. The Street Champion and co. ran roughshod over SmackDown for months until Roman Reigns returned at SummerSlam to reclaim the stolen Eula Fala. The original tribal chief eventually realized he needed some backup to go up against the new bloodline. However, no one was ready to reform the OG bloodline except for Jimmy Uso. But Solo Sikoa costing Jey Uso his Intercontinental Championship was the last straw that broke the camel's back. The Yeet Master decided to get back with his former stablemates under certain assurances that he would be treated equally. Last week on SmackDown, Sami Zayn came to the aid of Roman Reigns and the Usos against Solo Sikoa's bloodline to signal the return of the OG bloodline. Fans have since been asking when Paul Heyman will be inserted back into the mix. Zero News previously reported that there have been some backstage rumblings about the Wiseman working with The Rock down the road. Whether this has anything to do with the impending return of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson remains to be seen. Nevertheless, the stage is now set for OG Bloodline to face Solo Sikoa's bloodline in a 4 vs 4 War Games match at Survivor Series on November 30. Speaking on the Not Some WWE analyst Sam Roberts said the bloodline needed a manager to map out a strategy for them ahead of the War Games match. I think the Wiseman will be back with the bloodline soon, or at least I truly hope so. The only thing that can actually bring this family back together is the Wiseman. That's what the bloodline needs. I think we'll get our War Games match. And there is no manager that is more equipped to handle a War Games match than Paul Heyman, he said. Despite being written off TV, Paul Heyman has been seen working backstage in WWE. It's only a matter of time before he returns to our television screens. This week's WWE Raw and SmackDown could be very eventful. The creative team is expected to continue building the ongoing rivalries for Survivor Series, War Games 2024. The Stamford-based promotion could also announce a few big matches for the spectacle on WWE Raw and SmackDown this week. In addition, both the Red and Blue shows could have some big surprises in store for fans. That said, here are 4 bold predictions for WWE Raw and SmackDown this week. Chad Gable left Alpha Academy only to form a new faction, American Made, with Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers. However, the faction has failed to make a mark on WWE Raw, mainly due to lackluster booking. That said, things may finally change for the heel faction as they could be joined by none other than Kurt Angle. There have been murmurs of the legend joining the heel faction for quite some time, and the company may finally pull the trigger on the same on tonight's WWE Raw. Kurt Angle has been part of several factions in his WWE career. The wrestling veteran even joined The Shield for a match back in 2017. While he may not step back into the ring with American Made, Angle could potentially return to manage the heel faction. Seth Rollins prevailed over Bronson Reed at the Crown Jewel Premium Live event. However, the Australian star attacked the Visionary on the previous episode of WWE Raw. As a result, fans should expect an irate Rollins to hit back at Bronson Reed on tonight's show. The Architect could attack the Behemoth, which could lead to another brawl. The Visionary could then go on to demand a last man standing match against Reed at Survivor Series, which would be the perfect stipulation to end this rivalry. Kevin Owens injured Randy Orton on last week's SmackDown. The prizefighter laid out the Viper with a banned move, the piledriver. This resulted in Orton being stretchered out of the arena. Given how things unfolded, Cody Rhodes could confront Kevin Owens on this week's SmackDown. This potential confrontation could even get physical, which could lay down the breadcrumbs for a potential match between the duo at Survivor Series. Roman Reigns reunited with Sami Zayn on last week's episode of SmackDown. While the original bloodline is nearly complete, it still lacks the wise man, Paul Heyman. While the veteran is currently on a hiatus, there have been murmurs of him returning very soon. That may finally happen on Friday night, as Heyman could return to reunite with his real-life friend, Roman Reigns.